Looking for.
Hey, Bob, welcome to Voices of Elevate. Um, Now, I met it would have been between 2012 and 2016, did another festival. And up until that point, I felt a bit like an alien in the world because I probably the only person I knew that could see the world in a certain way. And then I heard some of your music and I realized I wasn't the one. And I really recognized my soul in your music, what I could see in the world in your music. So I booked you for that festival and
Wow.
really chuffed that all those years later, like 13, 14, 15 years later, you're still with me at this venture festival. And um it definitely feels like we're coming together in soul work. Does that ring true to you?
Coming together in what?
Like our soul mission to be doing what we're doing right now. Does that
Yeah,
feel?
I think I'm also experiencing that in my life. Like it's like light workers are being steered together.
Mm,
I'm I'm also experiencing like I'm being like brought together with certain souls
yeah,
in, let's face it, these are pretty intense times, right?
yeah. But isn't it exciting to think that back then, I raised you as kind of like a soul purpose brother through your music and wanted to do in the world, and I could hear you kind of shouting about it too. And then there wasn't so many people shouting about it, whereas now there is this awakening, and so many people are sort of coming from that hymn sheet, and yeah, I just feel like Elevate is really drawing people in.
Yeah, I I'm not going to pretend like I've got the answers, but
Well, we
any
haven't.
any answers, but I'm trying to work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone. But I am getting that like these times seem to be like pushing certain souls and groups of souls together.
Hmm.
It's like we're coming together. It's like together we're stronger, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you know the phrase like the time of the lone wolf is over. Like
Hmm.
we've been lone wolves. I've been a lone wolf all my
Well,
flipping life,
yeah,
and
me too. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And then suddenly it's like, man, this is really lonely. And actually, being a lone wolf is not that great for one's mental health, right? And like for whatever reason, whatever types of soul that we are, we're sort of like old souls, or we have a particular medicine for the world. It's like it's not that easy to carry that medicine alone. And
Hmm.
I've got to a point where it's like I can't really carry this I can't really carry this on my own. And also, I can't really figure it out on my own. Like, I don't know about you guys out there, but like, in these times, like a lot of us we've got a lot of superpowers kind of like they're like kind of dropping in, right? Are you guys
Hmm.
experiencing this? Like, loads of people start to speak light language, it's
Hmm.
spreading like fire across the globe.
Hmm.
People are starting to like do all these like shapes with their hands. I mean, I was doing it in the White Spring in Glastonbury today. My hands start doing all these like sacred shapes, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But also, I know like it's spirit working through me, and I see it. I see others doing it the same, and I'm also like, what the fuck is going on? What is this?
Yeah.
What is this light language thing that's coming through me almost daily now?
Hmm.
And like we don't necessarily know. And aside from that, if you guys watching don't resonate with the light language thing and what I just talked about the hands, we've all got these like a lot of people. We're all having these like big spiritual awakenings, and these we're having these quite a lot of us having these new experiences of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
definitely
like,
noticed my own sort of my own kind of and my connections are really clear, and I definitely like I've adopted new levels of superpowers. I definitely can relate to that. They're all very different, but yeah, I hear you on that.
yeah, and it's like, well, I can't really work it out on my own, and I just know that like I'm being steered together to meet and connect with other souls, and it's like, oh right, you guys are having the same experience as me. Awesome. Let's help each other.
Yeah, because that's
So
what's so important. That's where I was sort of coming to when I introduced you as like someone that when I heard your music, it was like, oh, I'm not alone. Someone else sees the world in this way. Because for a long we have been sort of like almost hiding who we really were. I worked in mental health for 12 years. If I'd spoken about the things that I could see or whatever, then I might have been referred to as crazy.
put you away, yeah.
Now, then you find other people who are seeing the world as you or having the experience. Can't be crazy because they're all having it too, and so it's not just find strength in those other people who are seeing the world as you see, because for a long time you might have been ridiculed if you spoke about it, whereas now you've got people who celebrate you can see and what you know, you know um and so there is strength in numbers. One, because you realize that you're not the only one, you that kind of strength to keep going in this crazy world. And two, because you can more together. We are just stronger together. We're a strong to be reckoned with if there's more of us. It feels like some kind of sort of spiritual war, but it is. And so we need to be strong together. So
We're fully in a spiritual war, aren't we?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's
But the more you
scary.
kind of see it, the more it's obvious, isn't it? The more you
I
know,
don't
the
know
more
where
you can
I don't
feel
know
it.
where it's going, but what what I'm experiencing is that these new experiences, these new spiritual experiences and superpowers that seem to be dropping in more and more for more and more of us. They're coming in for a reason. It's like these gifts are being given to us because we need them in this
Yeah.
spiritual war.
Actually, you
And
can almost see it in that way in a film. There's films where it kind of happens, isn't it? And it is. It's almost like, yeah, that makes lots of sense.
so, should we relate this to Elevate?
Mm. Well, the reason it relates to Elevate is that we are strong. And that's where we'll all be. um, well, we spoke,
On the Stonehenge ley line.
yeah, on more ley lines. Last year it was on the Glastonbury ley lines. It's near Stonehenge. Just that was completely in the flow. Both those locations. That's already very interesting. But last year we spoke very resonant conversation. I don't know if you remember, and we were talking about, and this, and we were talking about how we were just feeling totally from festivals, like the festivals we were attending were kind of.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were talking about how drained we felt afterwards, and we were trying to come up with the answer. What is it that's just completely stripping our energy to the point where I stopped attending festivals because I was thinking like,
I'm not going. Yeah, I'm also not going to barely any festivals anymore. It's a
yeah,
bit weird. I'm like, I've been doing festivals my whole life, and suddenly I'm like,
the same.
ah, new mission.
Yeah. And
I feel
time,
like I've had experiences at so many festivals, not just in England. I've been spending a lot of time in New Zealand. A lot of festivals. What actually my I'm being shown is that actually these a lot of these festivals they're being used just to siphon off human energy. Have
mm,
you getting this? I've literally like my shamanic awareness shows me that there are like low frequency beings up on the next level up from this one
Mm.
that basically they use these festivals to siphon off massive amounts of human energy, and then they feed. And it normally comes through like people taking drugs or
Mm.
alcohol, and then those entities come down, and then they like hover over the festival site, and then they just suck up all that human energy, which is why at the end of the festival you feel so fucking exhausted because you've just
Mm.
been quite literally drained. It's really interesting. So this is what we want to create, these new high frequency gatherings.
And that's why we were talking, weren't we? And we were saying, right, with Elevate, like this has got this, you know, because I'm channeling it and I'm being shown that we need to from plant medicines, even if people are offering like happy ceremonies and things. I'm like, sorry, no. It's like the energy that we're creating amongst us needs to be clear, activated energy. And we're not going to get that if we lower our frequency with anything. I know that it's very controversial because everyone's got their own idea, but it's only from wherever their level of awareness. But I know that any of these things are going to dim our light slightly. And so if what you're saying is correct, if we're dimming our, we're leaving ourselves wide open to have our energy taken out. And so it's all about activating the energy so that we can protect ourselves. Because what I saw at the last sort of big festival that I went to, what I really observed, that was in 2020, the end of the summer then, is we all got taken out, our energy all got taken out, and it was horrendous. Actually, it was a real horrendous experience. And what I witnessed was plant medicines being used, and then everyone seemed to be out by kind of what you were saying. I could see it, we could see it visually, and the energy that it was almost like some sort of lizard energy, you know, like we were like, what's wrong with all the people here? Because we were really clean. I'd been working with a raw cafe, we'd been barefoot in the sunshine, we had a wonderful time at Buddha Fields for 2 weeks because that festival had to split into two that year because we were so still. But there was something that took out that last festival. That was what made me think, God, people of like education that I could offer with the people that I know, to it's something else basically. And that's what Elevate, the mission of Elevate is to show you, keep our energy, like how to protect our energy and how to keep it light and bright, then can move forward in the way that like we all want to. And yeah, it's like you're on a boat watching you swaying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
man.
playing for us, aren't you?
I'm gonna come and play my music. Yeah, I mean, what's happening in my music right these days is it's becoming about frequency, and it's becoming about codes. So
Mm,
it's not about entertainment anymore. I
right.
mean, I can entertain a bit, but what's happening for me is it's about transmission, it's about activation, and it's about sharing the codes. Um, and I feel like this is what the new wave of conscious gatherings is being called to be about. Is like, if we want to not let this whole kind of like weird energy drain siphoning thing that is happening at quite a lot of our conscious festivals happen, there's a new way we can do conscious gatherings where we're really on it with sacred boundaries around our gathering. Because if there's no sacred boundaries, right? If everyone's like blowing their minds with plant medicine or whatever, then there's no sacred boundary around the gathering. And this is where those low frequency entities come in and they're able to feed, right? They come in through those holes because there's no fucking boundary. So for me, what's important is that if we want to create conscious gatherings, we need to have we need it to be a sacred container. We need to have boundaries, right, to the spirit world where we're not being interfered with. Because you've got to remember, like in these times, we're in the middle of a spiritual war, right? You've got the old paradigm and the beings that run that, and they've run that for eons, right? They don't want to let the old paradigm go, right? And so when people like us lot, we come in and we're like, right, new earth, we're creating new earth gatherings. They're like, no, you're fucking not, because they see us, right? And we're a threat to them. So they can come in and interfere, and they do. I see it at most gatherings. So this is why we need to create sacred boundaries around our conscious gatherings, whereby those entities and forces can't access us. You know, we have nice, clean, strong container
What
where
really
it's
comes to
just
mind?
energy, right?
Yeah.
And that we attract people who get it and who are resonating on that level. And you know, this is where, and I also think I'm still working this new earth thing out, like all of us, but I believe that in order to create the new earth, we're going to need to have sacred boundaries, because there are forces that don't want the new earth to happen at this point in time. So we have to be quite vigilant with our energy, and we have to be careful with our energy.
So you know, to people listening, it could sound absolute like utter bullshit what you're talking about, because a lot understand. But the way that I would like to, what it stirs for me is old texts, like the Quran talks about not mixing with the yin, like not doing that. That's why they don't drink alcohol. That's why they wouldn't take drugs, because they their energy, you know, and every day they're intentional, they're praying, they're intentional about keeping Allah, keeping that, because they're aware of these beings. And the reason that they wouldn't take drugs is because, you know, we were text even in the Bible, you know, don't not to do that. It's temptation, you know, the forbidden fruit, all of that is kind of being shown that there's this realm that exists, and maybe we're not supposed to be dabbling in it. And because we're here, we're supposed to be in this world, we're not supposed to be. But I know, God, I did psychedelics for 25 years. I know how tempting it is to leave this chaotic, depressing world and go and enter the world of color and different, far more exciting to leave this world and know that something else exists. But I think now, from my experience, I don't think we're supposed to. And the cleaner and the purer and the pure that I've created in my system and cleared and detoxed and meditated, and the Christ consciousness gets bigger and bigger in me, my connection, and it sort of shows me that no, we're not like that. We're to be doing that because we're inviting the yin in, you know, we're inviting or predominantly saying is that in these spaces now, it's the anti to religion, you know, to be taking or any form of psychedelic is opening us up to those negative entities warned about from
Totally.
long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's, those religions would have looked at people from the, I don't know, and thought that they were trying to think of the word they like barbarians, but not, that's the wrong word, but because they knew that they were dabbling with the dark is. So I don't know how it works with indigenous. They know a way of doing it where they do protect themselves, but I like in the Western world where we just love to binge, overdoing it, and there's a lot of dark energy in the most spiritual place, and I'm seeing people that are really well-meaning, open, but they're full of hitchhikers, like it's and it's only when you really clean your energy and activate your own energy that you have that ability to see it in others, I think,
Right.
yeah,
And the spaces, because when you're in that, you're just in it and you don't see it, right?
yeah, yeah,
And this is why we need to start creating gatherings like your intention with Elevate is to create. I believe I've been really feeling this the last few years, like been getting more and more frustrated with the gatherings, like medicine festival. I went to medicine festival. I was like, oh my God, get me the hell out of here. This is like a
well, I didn't want to slag off any other
I'm not
festival.
slagging. Well,
No,
maybe
no,
I am.
but that was the
But you know,
festival
like
that
it's
we all
just
got
people
taken out
don't
at.
see. People don't see because they're so entrenched in the medicine world. But
Yeah,
then, like, I just went and I'm like, oh my God, this is just a massive entity feeding frenzy. And
yeah.
it's like I came out of that festival more depleted than
In fact,
any festival.
I remember
You know,
seeing
it's like,
that was the year that I remember seeing you there, and we had both been taken out. Just that I
oh,
couldn't even come and say hello to you when we were all sat around the fire, because it was like we were all taken. It was really clean at that festival, but it was just so strong. Somebody the there's some land energy there maybe as well, that's maybe a bit something, but I'm not sure. But it didn't feel nice at all, and
I
because
just,
they've got the
I
most
just think,
amazing infrastructure, and you know but the end, and like but you, and people, some people love it, but that they fully are tapped into their energetics. Yeah, I don't
mm,
know, because it's like anyone who has energy awareness understands.
yeah, right. So I just think that the answer is to start creating gatherings that are really, really clean and really pure. You know, like
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm still figuring out, like we all are, like what the new Earth is. But I feel like it's a
I
place of
don't think
purity.
I
It's a
don't think it's
clean.
necessarily a new place. I think it's a place that has been taken from us, and we're trying to get it back. That vibe.
I just know the new Earth energies are super clean and they're super pure and they're super high frequencies. And
Yeah.
if we can create gatherings like we're trying to do with Elevate, where we're really putting that first, we're putting the cleanness of energy, the high frequency
And
first.
that comes with the food, the diet. Like we're having all electric our food. The workshops is all about clearing trapped energy and waking up and joy and activating joy, and uh, that kind of thing. It's all in the workshops, and the lots of thing to keep the energy high. um Lots of fire jamming where you're gonna be, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then, this is also like about synchronicity, like the way that we come together in these new gatherings. When enough of us, like souls, gather in with the intention to meet in new earth energy, and we get guided to have these gatherings on like sacred places, like you've been guided to have it on the Stonehenge ley line this year on the Stonehenge campsite. What we also have the capacity to do is to do massive work for the collective. You know, we're doing. I just came back from an amazing gathering called Free Zone last week, and we were also on the Stonehenge ley line, and we did big collective clearing work. It was like, whoa, really strong. And I think this is part of the work in these times, is that our souls, whatever souls we are, we have the ability to transmute the density and the old paradigm structures, and we can't really do it alone. I mean, we've been doing it alone up until this point, but now it's like we're coming together. And when we start doing this work together, it goes to the next level, which is why we want to create sacred boundaries and like be like, this is a no drugs gathering. There is not even any plant medicines here. There's no room for entity interference. Then we get to do really amazing.
Yeah, because I've even taken the cacao. Even cacao's off the list because
no way.
Yeah, because I had an experience on cacao recently where I made a decision and did something do if I was sober, and it really threw me off. I was like, wow, I wasn't in control. And actually, it was really really interesting. A little bit behind the bar for people, but I don't know. I actually think that is a bit of a trick as well. You know, I'm constantly through my lifetime having to get, feels like, more and more boring. Like, oh, even cacao now, but it's really being guided through me. If we want it to be properly activated and clean, it might not be the one. We might have some chocolates. Maybe we'll have some chocolate a little bit.
This sounds really boring, don't we? I just think
the thing is, it's not. We don't need. I had a conversation that we're going to be doing the cacao circle the other day. We've got the other conversation on, and it's cool. Cacao is not the magic. We are. That's the name.
We don't need anything in the.
We're
accessing the new earth.
You know, if you're accessing light language and think
we don't need
anything.
No, totally.
You know? Yeah. And this is what Elevate is going to show people, that we are fun. We are naturally childlike. We are things when we get with other people that are vibrating at that frequency. The reason Elevate is because that summer in 2020, I was with other people that were focused on being high vibrational. We were all barefoot. It was such a summer. And I swear we got up to 8D with each other, like the interactions, the magic, the everything. And it showed me what we are humanly of, the magic that is being kept from us, of what we're capable of. My vision is to be able to create a space where everyone can get up to that level of frequency, into that dimension together. Wow. Because I know it's possible, because I've experienced it. But you need, about being stronger together, you can't, what I've been shown, you can't actually reach that level on your own. You have to be activated from each other.
Totally,
you know? You have to, it's like, me too. You have to have this kind of resonance and this kind of heart resonance to be able to us up to the next dimension. So we can't do that as a lone wolf. We have to, and we have to encourage each other to heal, to let go of anything that's blocking their energy, to activate themselves with the right food. And we are, and because you rising will help me rise. Do you know what I mean? So we can't, it's not about being selfish, like help each other rise so that we can rise. So that's what, there's the mission right there.
Feel it. Yeah.
And it's really interesting. What I've been doing it since last year is that the people that aren't ready find a way of not being able to come. And like, it just the people, you know, we're going to come and then they can't. I'm like, I can see energetically you're maybe for this yet. And then some people that have come and then it's not for them. I can see there's almost like it's really filtering out those that are actually ready to the next level. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to sound ego, or it's not that at all. It's just, you know, I've been on this journey a long time, haven't we? It's been like a life's mission, so it makes sense that we're starting to see like another level of awareness, and it's just amazing the people that are being attracted in. It just makes my heart sing with joy, you know, because everyone's just ready to love each other. The ego left years ago. And it's everyone's just wants to come and share and connect and share their, to, you know, and receive each other's magic, ready to you know, be strong together and rise. Yeah.
I feel my heart. It's all in here, isn't it? This is where we gotta reside and learn how to be together,
Yeah.
not on our egos.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we've done quite a lot of slagging off of other vessels, haven't we? But like, I just feel like this is. I heard this theory that the spiritual world has been also
Infiltrate.
hijacked.
Yeah. Massively.
And especially the plant medicine world, which is why I've completely walked away from plant medicine world. But like, also it's good to acknowledge this, because, like, you know, you've got
you
these
feel bad acknowledging it.
You've got these power controllers out there who are, they're trying to run the whole world. They're trying to control the whole world, and it's good to remember that they want to control everything, right? But so that means that they're even trying to control the spiritual movement, right? And what I have been seeing in the last 2 years is like, it's been so difficult to witness. Like, I've just been seeing like, wow, people are falling for the false light.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these like so-called conscious gatherings. And what I'm seeing is like, oh my God, guys, this is really a lot of false light, and we are all playing along because we think, oh, it's spiritual, it must be okay. And
Do you think
actually,
what I'm sort of witnessing is
no.
people that are kind of started to wake up around, you know, 2020 after the big on, you know, and I think that kind of accelerated a lot of growth with people. I'm not sure, but it's almost like there's a trend attached to spirituality now.
Totally.
It's
And that's,
not,
yeah, yeah.
it's not about,
It's like,
you know, thinking,
how many cacao ceremonies can you do? You know, how many, and this is where it's like so much ego, and it's all about what you look like and what you dress, and
that's what I mean. It's almost
like,
like
this is what we need to cut through, and like, just have these gatherings where it's like really about the heart and about being our innocent, authentic, pure selves without any of that stuff in the way, and where we're not playing like spiritual games and competition, and we're really like forging. I mean, also, I don't know if you agree, Jennifer, like I also think a lot of us have this idea that new earth energy is like, it's kind of light and fluffy and like, yay. And it's definitely, there's an element of yay to it, but also this new earth energy is very strong. It's like, it's clear. It's like whoosh. It's a very clear cut through the crap energy.
yeah.
It's not necessarily super easy yet,
No.
because the new earth energy is going to hit our old constructs. It's going to hit our egos. It's going to hit everything that's not new earth in our beings. And so there's an element of courage needed here. And when we
Yeah,
create these
like
few gatherings, it's like it's a strong energy. And I think that's the challenge is to be able to pull these gatherings off, because when we successfully create a gathering like this, we're really anchoring, right? We're anchoring new earth energies into the land. And this is why these entities want to stop them happening, because they know, they see us because we're anchoring, we're anchoring in new earth. So that's why there's an element of like certain souls are ready and others who are not. It's, you know, they'll come in a year or so, you
are
know.
there like different types of souls though? Because when I heard about indigo children, I completely resonated with that. Here with a fierce energy, I've come here to fight, to like that matrix, create a whole new being. Like I was an animal rights activist, late teens, and I was fighting, and I was running away from police and climbing great big fences, and like, you know, properly frontline running next to the horses. Like, I come here to fight. This is wrong. Like, I've always had this fierce for wrongdoing on the planet, and I've always been fighting for it. You know, like I made TV appearances. One was when Borat, Ali G, when he caught me at an animal rights demonstration. You know, and the second time was when I was in a documentary on Channel 4 about unschooling.
Was that you with the bear thing?
Yeah,
Was that you
yeah,
when you called him out with the bear thing?
yeah.
Oh my God, I can remember that. That was you.
Yeah. So,
Oh
but
my
it's always been so.
God.
I was 19 then. Um,
You were the one that said you kill bears.
you kill bears, that's evil.
That was you.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
my
God, that's
famous line.
hysterical.
Do you know what I mean? So I've always had this really
Sorry.
open heart, but with a one energy behind it. Like, you know, I'm such a people pleaser, but if it if justice in the world, I will fight anybody to create justice in the world. This real warrior spirit, um, like Joan of Arc. I think there's other women that are much more already, like much more crystal, or like soft feminine, and maybe they, you know, maybe we've all got goals at this time. You know, I'm definitely a warrior. I'm here to create, here to like have the tenacity to do things like create, elevate, or do whatever, you know. And for a while there was a time in my life where I didn't think that was feminine, where I didn't feel like I resonated in the feminine, but actually warrior energy is feminine as much as it is masculine. I really believe. You know, I saw a photo years ago with a woman in the, I don't know if she's in the I think some indigenous woman with a boob out feeding a baby with a machete in her hand, like with waiting to fight kind of thing. And I think there is that duality. But yeah, with what you were saying about you know, we need a sort of energy to create a new earth. That, you know, I really read, because we can't do it just sat in a cacao. I don't know, sat in a, like, we need to be doing action in the world. We need to be making things happen. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's, you know, and they've all got their place. I think its place as
It's not
well.
about it's not about indulgence anymore, you know? It's not about
But is
middle
that
class
not?
and
But
it's not
another
about
thing
middle
is,
class indulgence. It's actually about doing the work, owning our shadow, bringing that new earth warrior spirit through. And you know, for some, that's it's it's very strong energy, you know. And if we can come together like lots of new earth warriors together, that's what that I'm really excited in that, you know. And
also I don't want to take anyone else's journey away from them. So it's not about things are bad, like plant medicines and cacao and all of that, and getting in ceremony, because it's help, you know, those things helped me. Like I wouldn't have a lot of the insight perhaps, or have been able to do the deep levels of healing if it wasn't for those substances and for going through that. Maybe it's just that we've reached another side that me and you personally don't things, but maybe it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's not a bad thing, because we wouldn't be where we were having gone through that journey. And maybe we're forgetting that so many people, like, maybe realize how much work we've done and how long we're like veterans now. We're getting old. Do you know what I mean? I'm a
I was just
grandmother
about to say,
now.
shit, maybe we're just getting old.
So like maybe it's just, you know, that let's give them a chance to off. It's not demonizing those things, but maybe just giving people awareness not to get stuck there. You know, that integrate is really, really important. You know, not doing ceremony to ceremony and not doing any work. Spend time like really integrating and making those changes. But for me, I truly believe that the way that we do that is not to be ingesting any substances, but to go really clean food, fasting. You know, that's all we need. Breath. You know, that's all. I've had much more potent trips on breath work than I ever had on LSD or mushrooms or plant medicines. You know, I've just breath work. I don't know if it's because I'd already opened those pathways with substance past, but I have such potent trips with breath work. It's amazing. You know, do we even need to be doing those things?
Yeah,
You know,
to their own, but yeah, here we are.
fate is for those who are ready to try something else, to ready to trust in their own magic and see where that takes them. Because I can tell you it further. Once we clean and activate our own energy, whew, that's where the power's at.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to coming. I've got to head off soon, Jenna.
Yes. Well,
But
we look forward to you coming and playing and connecting and dancing and chatting. Is it what are you most looking forward to?
I'm really intrigued that we're going to be right next to Stonehenge. I mean, to be honest.
I'm actually trying to get permission from Stonehenge at the moment to do something special.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm intrigued that we're going to be there,
Mm.
and that we're going to be able to tap into that energy really close, and yeah, it feels really exciting. That's what I'm most excited about, is like doing that energy work with, right with Stonehenge right there, and just
Mm.
because you know it's so strong. It's so strong. There's a reason that they've made it into a tourist site and built a military base next to it. It's because the powers that be know how fucking strong it is. And I was at a festival last weekend on that Stonehenge leyline, and we were channeling that Stonehenge energy, and it's so juicy. Oh my god, it's such a beautiful, strong, clear, strong warrior energy. It's like, whoa.
I love
So
that I did
yeah,
rest. That's 3 ley lines cross there, and one of them is the Stonehenge ley line, and
yeah,
it goes directly then to Gaunt's house where you were last weekend. Is where we were
yeah,
on the farm. It's just literally up there, isn't it? And now,
right.
and then I've done one in now Stonehenge. It's like every time I put on it, and it's just flowed that way. I haven't been intentional about finding those spaces. That's just what flowed in. So
Yeah, I
there's a
felt
bigger
that.
force at play, you know?
Yeah, no, this is it. This is what I meant earlier, is that, the synchronicities of us all starting to come together, and it's like spirit is doing the work and we just become the vessels, right?
Yeah.
And then we get steered to do amazing work for ourselves, and also for the bigger picture, for the collective, and I
Actually,
feel like
that's
that's why that's what I'm personally interested in, is gatherings where that's kind of the direction. It's not not a direction, but it's kind of like most people at the gathering get it. So that it's not about indulgence, spiritual indulgence, and like endless cacao ceremonies. It's about awareness of manifesting our superpowers and starting to use them together and to explore how to use them together, and not being the ego with it, and what it's all about. And because we're getting really powerful in these times, and if gatherings where we can come together and start to explore that together and how that feels and what it looks like. I think this is like the next level of gatherings, and it's really exciting, and it's being called for because things are getting pretty messy out there, and this is the antidote. Like we've come here for a reason. We carry light. We're being given these superpowers for a reason to use. It's not just random. They're showing up now because they're being called for. And if we can help each other to work out how to bring these powers through in a healthy, clean, potent way.
I actually think, like you said, spirit's working. So whatever that looks like. And, I just downloaded Do Another Festival. And I even said back, that's a bit of a big ask. Like, I need to see a sign. I know an owl, and it showed me an owl. In fact, it made an owl fly right over my head. It's like, whoa. So that was a confirmation for me, because it was really, I'm a single mom with not very much money. It's like, can I pull this off? But you have to try. Whatever anyone is being called to do, whatever that little niggle is, whether it's poetry, whatever it is, that bring that through now, because we are channels to create it. It's we do from the ego. It's not something we do with necessarily our own intent. It's something that we channel through us. And with you, it's you've always channeled amazing music, and that's your gift. I heard your call and invited you into spaces that I hold, because I know that's, and it's other people. Everyone's magic that they need to let it come through and trust it, and get out of their own way, because there's purpose for lots of people now. Right, well, we're because I know that you've got to get off, haven't you?
Yeah, it's good
To me today, and I really can't wait to see you in August.